Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the Lockdown Corner podcast. Today, I'm your host, AJ Brault. Wait a second. That's not correct. Look at me. Do I look like AJ Brault? No way, Jose. It's me, your boy, Alec Rott, aka The Village is Burning. AR is holding a blowtorch. To my left, and also featured on your screen, is our friend Dustin Bergine. Did I get that
Close
right?
enough. Close
All right,
enough.
Dustin Burgundy or at Dustin Burgundy 51 on Twitter. Um, at AJ Brault is not able to make it tonight. He is busy at a Kenny Chesney concert, so he will not be available. I'm just kidding. He just had other things pop up. We're all human, and everybody send AJ Brault your love tonight. Um, Dustin, it's been a little while. This Packers season is absolutely dreadful. What say you about these past 2 weeks?
Before we go on, I made a clip just for Alex being gone. Things happen, people miss, but as they say,
the show goes on.
I was working
Absolutely.
I was working so hard on that beforehand. But yeah, it is, as I put in the title, it has just been a misery. I mean, watching Sundays isn't fun anymore. It's just not fun. Just because I go every Sunday thinking, "Oh my God, the Packers are going to lose this Sunday," and like in our hearts, because like we grew up. Granted, it's hard for us because we grew up with a lot of good football. And now that we see this, it is just tough to watch. It is so difficult to watch. The offense struggling, can't do anything. It is just brutal right now.
Yeah. And as you mentioned, we still have to turn it on. Number one, because we do this show. So just so you guys know, you are technically the cause of our misery. I'm joking. I'd watch it either way. Subscribe at YouTube, of course. But we definitely watch, and even when the village is burning, we still have hope because we have been shown nothing but great things for so long. Even when all hope is lost, we think back to all of those miracles that Rodgers has done before. But Dustin, what do you think? Is the magic run out of that hat? What are we doing here? Are the Packers done for this season, or are they going to make a bounce back?
I always like to be optimistic about everything. See, I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious. All right. But the Office skit, if anybody knows that. But anyways, I digress. But I like to keep hope, but I'm kind of losing faith little by little. I saw a tweet the other day that says it was Bears fans and Packer fans, and it said, "You and I aren't so different." And at this point, I kind of feel it. Like we're feeling the same thing. Like, do I think they could turn it around? Yeah, but we got a long ways to go with not much of a season left. So I
Yeah.
I don't know. What say you?
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I think that I think that we pretty much got to pack it in this year. We've been struggling over this last, what is it, week 7? This was our easy stretch. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
this was a stretch of teams where it was like, oh, okay, minus the Buccaneers, who are also looking dreadful. We had an easy slate of games. Now we're going into Buffalo. I mean, what a bloodbath that'll be. That's going to be hard for me to even watch at this point. I think it's over. I think that short of Aaron Jones getting 22 carries a game, AJ Dillon getting 15 carries a game, and Rodgers throwing under 20 passes a game, I think if we can't do that offensive game plan, we're pretty much done for because it just seems like Rodgers can't buy into this offense. I think that it's probably due to the lack of depth and experience at receiver, but it just looks like he is a shell of a quarterback out there trying to operate in a system that he doesn't want to be in, throwing to players that he doesn't want to throw to.
Yeah, it just there's just no chemistry involved in this team, and like I know we talked about that before the season. Like, how are these young guys going to gel with Rodgers? Like, how is this young defense going to progress through the season as things and teams get better, teams get tougher? Like, how is this team going to work and progress? And honestly, a lot of our worries came to fruition when the defense couldn't figure it out. Our offense is obviously pretty bad. Like, it's just a lot of chemistry issues at this point. There's really nothing else to say but chemistry.
Yeah. Well, what do you think, Dusty? Should we do a quick game rewind?
Yes, we can, and I'm not as quick with the game rewind as Al is, but here we go.
What just happened?
Time to roll back the tape. Here's this week's Game Rewind.
All I want to know if you got your popcorn ready.
And hold
All right.
the phone. I got breaking news quick.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent news story,
Breaking news.
and I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen right now!
I almost forgot in the beginning here. I would like to say congratulations to you, Alec, for getting married on Saturday night, everybody. Alec,
Oh
Ross,
my-
a married man.
Oh, Dusty, it really means the world to me that you would bring that up. I am a happily married man. I have not been captured against my will. Don't come calling to save me. I am not taken without my will. I'm joking, guys. It was a beautiful ceremony. Thank you for bringing it up, Dustin. Thank you and your beautiful fiance for coming. It was an absolute blast, and here's to many years.
Yes. Absolutely. Congratulations, you guys. It was an awesome wedding. But as we move on here, I'm sorry, Alec, you can continue.
Yeah, so I think that let's switch gears here. We were going a little bit too much on the happy, Thankfully, I got married. I tricked a beautiful woman into marrying me. Let's switch back to the misery for a second here. The Jets came into town, into Lambeau, historic Lambeau Field, and they put a spanking on us, 27-10. What was your biggest takeaway from that game, which I will just go ahead and say, one of my least favorite Packer games to watch in a long time. Felt like there was nothing going right on offense, and it looked like our defense was doing great until that second half hit, and that's when it just got demoralized. Dustin, what did you think of that game?
Yeah, and actually, as Sean says right here, are the Jets legit? I think they are, personally. Are they going to get to the point of this year where I think it's a deep playoff run? No, I don't think so. But I think the wild card spot is not a play for them. I think they have a very young and talented defense, a pretty explosive offense when they want to be. Is Zach Wilson their answer yet? We don't. I don't know for sure. But the biggest thing is again, what we referred to, there's just no chemistry in our team. Our offense just couldn't do anything. And then we got to talk about it. Royce Newman, he's got to go. He's got to go. He's just so bad. But yeah, I mean, it was brutal.
Yeah, as a closeted Bears fan, I know at AJ Brault is hoping for Royce Newman to stay in the starting lineup for as long as possible so that his Justin Fields and his favorite Bears team can make the push ahead of us for a wild card spot as the Vikings have the division on lockdown, it seems. But besides that, yeah, offense did nothing. Defense looked really good until that second half. And as far as if the Jets are legit, you hit it on the head, man. The D line that they have built is great, let alone our offensive line has not been playing well this season. Either way, that D line is looking great. Sauce Gardner looks like he may be defensive player of the year, rookie of the year, somewhere along those lines. Zach Wilson, I'm not in on. I don't think that he's actually going to end up amounting to much, but they do have a lot of good pieces. Elijah Moore, they just added James Robinson, Brees Hall. He's looking pretty good. What was that, Dusty?
As you could say, Sauce Gardner is quite a lockdown corner.
He said it.
He said it.
Good stuff,
Thank you.
Dusty.
Thank you,
Good
everybody.
stuff, Dusty.
We also have our first hater.
What's Alex B? You guys? Yeah, I do agree. But we're gonna try and truck right along. We appreciate you watching, Chris. But second question: was Justin Fields better than Aaron this week? Love to hear Dustin's take on this one. Go ahead, Dusty. Let's give the people what they want.
All right, Sean. First of all, screw you for bringing it up. Okay. All right. Screw you. It's a sensitive subject, but honestly, at this rate, I'd rather see Jordan Love than Aaron Rodgers. The spit in the face to me for Rodgers. Like, I love Pat McAfee's show and watching Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, but after like last week, when he took zero accountability for the problems that we're having, I'm gonna swear, fuck him. Honestly, fuck him. He just takes zero accountability when he missed how many guys wide open. It's like, dude, it's like, when are you gonna take some accountability? And he's like, oh, I am. It's like, you're literally blaming everybody else for their mental errors besides yourself. Like, you also make errors, Mr. Rogers. Like, I know it's your neighborhood, but not much longer.
Yeah, and as far as Fields goes, I mean, he's definitely got a lot that he's got to work on. I mean, it seems like his athletic ability is such a blessing and a curse, right? It gets him out of so many pickles. I like using that term, but it also does cause a lot of long second down, third downs, and yeah, I mean, I think that the kid can definitely put something together. At this point, there may be something to say about the two of them, but I don't know. I'm with you on it. I think that we should be playing Jordan. I think that we should be looking to move Rodgers, or hopefully he retires because it looks like he does not have a lot left in the tank. Let's move right along though, because there cannot be anything more to say about the Jets game other than offensive stalls, defensive greatness until they're demoralized. Let's move on to the Washington racial slurs, as AJ Brault would have said. The Commanders game. How was that one for you, Dustin? I was actually listening to the game as I was cleaning up the mess that my party animal guests left at the wedding. What did you think of it watching it firsthand?
Let's just say I was still quite intoxicated and hungover from the night before. But let me tell you, to get up that early to go watch that miserable game again was just awful. I would have rather been drinking or just sleeping because it was that boring and bad. And it's just the same broken record again from the Jets game. No offensive push, no sense of urgency, and just bad defense. And I wouldn't say bad defense, but like second half struggles as a defense. Because again, it's the thing we've been talking about all year where the team in the first half looked pretty good for the most part. Like, it looks solid. They can kind of do some stuff, and then the second half comes around, like, just they don't know what to do. It seems like, they're deer in headlights.
Yeah. I mean, the only positive that I could really take away from this game from an offensive standpoint is it seemed like Aaron Jones was being utilized a bit more. I mean, he had 2 tuds, so that's always a good sign. The defense, it sounded like they were playing pretty good. It just sounds like it feels like it's just lack of offensive production. Defense is on the field for 40 to 45 minutes of a 60-minute game, and it's just too much on them. Yeah, the Commanders, I'll be honest with you guys. I had the Packers with 1 loss at this point of the season before the season started. That was to the Vikings. With them sitting at 3-4, it's just really, really shameful, especially with back-to-back losses against what was seeming to be mediocre teams. But enough with that misery. Let's move on to the next topic here, Dustin. Would you please?
All right, so we're gonna go over some news and notes, eh?
News and notes.
Here we go.
News and notes from the league.
All right, so in the latest news, we're a little behind on the news, but Christian McCaffrey got traded to the 49ers for a second, third, and fourth round pick for this coming year and a fifth round pick for the following year. Alec, what say you?
Wild to me that he got traded for less than a first round pick. I thought for sure that he was going to get traded for first and maybe 2 seconds and a third. That's the kind of value that he has when he's healthy. And then I was thinking, I guess the Niners must have been able to negotiate in his injury concerns, which aren't nothing, right? I mean, when he's on the field, he's one of the most explosive players in the league. But with a little bit of his lack of availability in the coming years, I think it's probably a pretty even swap. Not talent-wise, but utilization-wise. What do you think, Dustin? Who won this trade?
Yeah, this is a tough one. I think Carolina won this trade. I know that may be a hot take, but I think to get a good, I mean, yeah, like I know their asking price was a first round pick, but realistically, you're kind of getting an injury prone running back who, yeah, when he's healthy and at his top, he's arguably one of the best running backs in the league, and he can give you the most value in receiving and rushing. But at the same time, like, is he going to stay healthy? So, like, I think for them to get four good picks out of it, I think that's almost worth it for Carolina, just because I mean they're in a rebuilding stage. They're not in a win stage right now.
Oh, I mean, PJ Walker looked pretty good this week. Anyway, let's keep it
He did.
moving.
He
The
did. I will
XFL
not.
great.
Yeah, I will not deny that. PJ Walker looked pretty good. I mean, granted, we'll talk about the Buccaneers in a little bit if we got time, but man, the Buccaneers look dreadful right now.
Yeah.
Just woof. All right, and the second news is Robert Quinn was traded to the Eagles for a fourth round pick. This one was surprising. What do you think, Alec?
I think that is right where it needed to be. I think that he is a great talent still, but I think that he's probably only got 2 years left in the tank. So I think that the Eagles got exactly what they needed, another stud to add to that pass rush. And I think that the fourth round pick was definitely fair compensation for an aging legend.
Well, Chris, you shouldn't have took the under on the XFL legend. That's on you, man. That's on you. Yeah, but no, I'm right with you on that one. I think Robert Quinn is probably one of the most criminally underrated players in the league today. He's just criminally underrated. He's such a good player, and especially his age. Like you don't see defense and like kind of linebacker hybrids play to that level that he's playing right now, and he's been playing to a high level. And like you said, I think both teams got exactly kind of what they needed out of it. Robert Quinn's got one, maybe 2 good years left in him until I really think he starts to fall down. And the Eagles are all bought in. They're all in this year. They're trying to win, and Bears got some draft capital out of it. So I think that's a win-win scenario.
Absolutely.
All right, and then moving on to the next one. This is another one. Interesting trade. Kadarius Toney traded the Chiefs for their third and fifth round picks this coming year.
I I don't like this trade, man. I mean, for either side, I don't think that he's an elite enough talent to warrant a trade for the Kansas City Chiefs to bring him in. I mean, granted, their receiving core isn't amazing, but I mean, what is he if not another MVS, Juju Smith-Schuster type of talent? I'm not saying that they're I'm not saying that they have the same skill sets, but they're about at the same level, I would say. So why are we adding another eh wide receiver? And Giants, you guys are doing really well right now. Why are you trying to screw up your roster in any means by moving one of your better players? I mean, he's going to be probably a fifth option for the Chiefs. He was the Giants, what, number two option? Now is Sterling Shepard out? I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense from any angle. Why would the Chiefs want him? Why would the Giants move him? And that draft capital, I mean, I guess the Giants got good picks out of it, but I don't get it. What do you think, Dustin?
Yeah, I think there's many answers to this question or your concerns. And I think the main ones, I don't think Tony wanted to be there. And I think because there's a lot of injury issues with him, and I think the injury issues weren't actually injuries. It was more of he just didn't want to be there. And I think obviously that he was clashing with the Giants a little bit, and they're kind of like, well, we got to kind of get rid of him because the Giants just spent a first round pick on him. So obviously they want to get something for him rather than just, keep him sitting around not wanting to play. So I guess, yeah, the Chiefs, I think Tony has a lot of potential. Like, I mean, coming out of college, I mean, he's a great route runner, really shifty kind of guy who's good for the Chiefs because that's what they like to do. They like that shifty guy who can get open to space. Doesn't have the explosion of Tyreek Hill by means, but he's a pretty explosive player. So I can understand why they did it. And like C. Brault said here, can't stay healthy. So kind of a Christian McCaffrey deal here. Can he stay healthy is a real question.
I was just going to affect the Giants, though. I mean, Sterling Shepard's out. Now they don't have Tony. I mean, who is Daniel Jones going to throw the ball to? Are we going to see just Saquon Barkley carrying the load with 35 touches a game?
Yeah, they're just going to run read option all day with Danny Dimes and Saquon.
Yeah, my
That is
goodness.
a very interesting offense to say the least. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, if you would have told me that they would have had the record they have right now, I would have told you you're straight up lying. I said no way.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. All right, but moving on. Alvin Kamara is reportedly on the trade block, as well as Damian Harris and Alexander Mattison. Damian Harris is on the Patriots, and Alexander Mattison is on the Vikings. What say you?
I mean, I can understand it for Alexander Madison and Damian Harris. I cannot understand it for Alvin Kamara. I mean, I do, that Saints team looks like it has a lot of potential. I'm not ready to call it quits on Jameis Winston. When Michael Thomas is available, he is amazing. I I I don't see the reason besides maybe sorry folks, I got bronchitis.
I
I
got
don't see the
bronchitis. Sorry.
but I just don't see the reason to move Kamara. Um, I don't know how much value you're going to see out of Damian Harris, but I think Alexander Madison could really be like a Jamal Williams type player for the Packers last year or 2 years back now. What do you think, Dusty?
I guess with Kamara, I would understand if they wanted to move him, seeing he's got pending charges on him and he's getting a little older. That one I can kind of see. I get you're a big crab legs guy. You like the crab legs. I understand. You like to yeah, you like to eat that W once in a while, but all right, that's probably inappropriate. I probably shouldn't show that one, but all right, I digress. But anyways, I can see it. I can see the potential why you would do that, but at the same time, you still got a shot at that division right now, since that division is pretty bad between Carolina, Atlanta, and Tampa Bay. Like, I mean, you win 2 games, you're right back in that division. So, like, like I see it, but I don't. And then with Damian Harris, they have Ramondre Stevenson. They really have no need for Damian Harris. I know New England's that committee back type of team, but honestly, I kind of think they're shifting away because they like what Ramondre's giving them. I mean, he's such a strong and powerful running back who can kind of do it all. And then with Madison, yeah, I mean, I can easily see why they want to get rid of him, get some draft capital, because I'm guessing he's run up his contract. Don't quote me on that, but I'm guessing he is. But yeah, I can kind of see that being the case for those guys.
Yeah, and the thing with Madison, though, I mean, I can't see him being a lead back anywhere. I mean, I think he's gonna be like uh, a complimentary back for the entirety of his career, unless if somehow he falls into like a Cordell Patterson kind of groove where just out of nowhere he explodes and people are like, "Wow, how did this guy not get utilized throughout his whole career?" But I just don't see that coming from Madison. He's a hard-nosed runner, but he just doesn't have that athleticism.
Hmm.
He's
I
like a
would love
skinny.
this. Oh, you can go.
I was
Sorry.
good. He's like a skinnier version of LeGarrette Blunt. How's that? How's that?
That is a very good comparison. But I would love to see more Cordell Patterson type players where they're utilized just all over the field. I love that. I love that kind of football. That's so fun to watch.
Yeah.
But all right, we're gonna move on from that now. In latest news, Jamar Chase to possibly miss 4 to 6 weeks due to a hip injury. Ooh, yikes!
Yikes.
What say you, Alec?
I mean, that's not what you like to hear if you're pulling for the Bengals this year. They had such a soft start. Seemed like they're starting to hit their stride, and now for their number one receiver to go down, it's gonna be a tough couple weeks here for a man that everybody thought was gonna have a lot better protection this year, Joe Burrow. But I mean, have you guys seen the video of him flinching at a cough at a press conference? That dude's already on such edge. I mean, taking away his number one option. I really hope he just survives until Jamar Chase gets back. What are the Bengals doing? You got to bring in a good offensive line coach and spend some damn money on your offensive line. You have somebody who I think could be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. You have T. Higgins, Jamar Chase. What are you doing? Get him some protection. This guy's going to die in 3 years with all these hits that he's taken. I'm done. Pull the plug. Dustin, what do you think about the Bengals right now, man? Missing Jamar Chase.
I agree. If you got Tyler Boyd or T. Higgins, you're looking in good shape for fantasy for these next 4 to 6 weeks. But yeah, I mean, man, they're going to give this guy PTSD by the time he's done with this year. He's going to be flinching at everything that comes at him. The guy just kind of walks towards him. He's going to be backpedaling and running. He's going to be thinking, where the hell do I go now? But yeah, it just sucks to see such a talented player get hurt and miss that many weeks, and especially they were starting to really turn it around too. So that's unfortunate. But what are you going to do? It happens.
Yeah.
So, all right, on to the next one. This one, probably news of the week. Matt Ryan benched for second-year quarterback Sam Ehlinger. This was a shocker. What do you say?
I mean, hate it for Matt Ryan. Hate it for the guy. I really liked Matt Ryan. I never thought that he was an elite level talent, but I had a soft spot for him. He was my less athletic Ryan Tannehill type guy. And I don't know. I hate to see it, but it's probably time. I mean, he's not playing at his best. He hasn't for a while. I thought maybe it was due to lack of talent down in Atlanta, but I mean, if you're not successful with one of the best backs in the league in the backfield, and then good, not great receiving options, it's probably time to call it quits.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. I mean, it was blatant. He really struggled at the beginning of this year. He's really starting to kind of fall off a little bit. Alec is gone now. But yeah, I think that's what he's going to do. I think he's blowing his nose, as Seabrolt said here. But yeah, I mean, obviously he was falling off the hill a little bit. He kind of just couldn't put together. Colts are struggling in general, so it's not surprising, especially seeing that Sam Ehlinger had a really good preseason. So I wouldn't doubt that they would want to kind of put him in, see if he's the future of the franchise, and see what he can do. I mean, because the worst case scenario is if they put Sam Ehlinger if they stay on the course they are right now, and that is a losing football team. And best case scenario is he turns the team around. They can establish somewhat of an offense, and this team is good. They have talent, so I think they just tried to make a change and see what they can do.
I'm back with a clearer nose. I apologize for anybody that had to suffer through that nasally just disruptance in your ears. I'm sorry about it, but I'm back. I'm better than ever. Dustin, let's keep it moving, man. We got any more news and notes?
Aaron says hi. Hi. Okay. No, I think we're done with the news and notes. So
Alrighty.
Let's move on to our favorite segment. We don't have imaging yet, but we can just do it because we're improvisers. All right, top 5. Today we're going to do top 5 trade candidates for the Green Bay Packers. Alec, since you love this and you are the best, you go first, sir.
So for the trade, for who I think the Packers are going to trade for, I'm going to go ahead and say this. The number one that I think that the Packers will trade for is absolutely nobody. They're not trading for anybody, people. I mean, if you've been tricked, now, I mean, you know the old saying, fool me one time, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. Well, this is about fool me 75, okay? If you're going to be fooled for 75 straight times, I want you to do yourself a favor. Just log off your Twitter, log off your social media, live under a rock, and just watch the Packers on Sunday because your heart cannot take it, okay? They won't trade for anybody, but let's restart the list. Number 5, Jerry Jeudy. I think that there could be a possibility that they trade for him. I don't like the trade. I don't think that he'd be a great player for us. I don't think that he'd have success in our system, just as I don't think that he'll have success in the league as a whole. Jerry Jeudy is a bust, mark my words now. Number 4, Odell Beckham Jr. Again, he is a great talent. We've talked about it last year. It would be so much fun to see him come and play in Green Bay. It seems like there's a little bit of interest from him. Seems like a lot of interest from Rodgers. However, can't stay healthy, and he's probably asking for a lot of cash. So probably not going to happen, but it would be a lot of fun. Number 3, Julio Jones. Tampa Bay is not doing well. Julio Jones is wildly underutilized. Why not get some draft capital for him? Try and re-up for next year, whether it's with Tom or whether Tom decides to go and start a new family and just call it quits and retire. I think that bringing Julio Jones into the Packers would be a Jimmy Graham type move, which if you guys remember Jimmy Graham's stint on the Packers, everybody was super excited and then nothing happened. Number 2 on this fun top 5 list that is ultra depressing. Number 2, I'm going to go with the man, the myth, the legend, the Chase Claypool. People.
Oh, I think Alec is gone.
Am I here?
He's back. He's back.
Chase Claypool. People are going crazy for him on Twitter. People think that he would be amazing with us. The thing is, y'all remember last year when he caught that ball in overtime and decided to celebrate instead of going to get the ref the ball? Well, I think Rodgers would just about have an aneurysm with a guy with that low of self-awareness on the squad, even if he was catching the ball for him. And number 1, my favorite play would be to take our next 3 years worth of first-round picks and move them for Cooper Kupp. Bring Cooper Kupp in, baby. The Rams are done. We've seen it. They don't have any draft capital. They've traded the ship for 1 Super Bowl. Let's bring Cooper Kupp into town. What do you say, Dustin? Is that fun enough for you, bringing in Cooper Kupp?
That sounds like the worst trade deal of all fucking time. We're pretty much trading places with the Rams. Is essentially what we're doing. So like we're trading our draft capital to give them theirs back, just to have our entire franchise screwed for the next 10 years. Let's just talk about quick how screwed. I mean, screwed the Rams are for like the next 5 to 10 years. They are so screwed because they have no draft capital.
Yeah.
But I actually like that. Yeah. Sorry. What do you say?
Hashtag F them picks. I mean, how about hashtag F that franchise? They're done for. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
Oops, actually, I did not want to post that. It's not appropriate. That's my bad, everybody. I think for all you listening, it was an inappropriate comment. I should not have posted. But anyways, moving on. All right. My number 5. I'm going to say Marquez Callaway. Callaway, excuse me. For the New Orleans Saints receiver. Nice athletic guy where I think the Packers would maybe try to scoop him up for a good deal because that'd be the most Packer thing ever to do. But I just don't, I don't quite see it as much as the other guys. And then 4 and 3 are on the same team. Jerry Jeudy and KJ Hamler. I think those two are pretty interchangeable. I think, KJ Hamler's a little less pricey as of what they're going to ask, but at the same time, it's kind of a wish-wash, whatever you're going to get. I don't, again, as we go into this, I'll get more into it. So those are my 4 and 3. And then number 2, I'm going to say Chase Claypool. I'm going to agree with that one. I think that his size and athleticism kind of fit what we want to do. And number 1, I'm going to go with Not a Damn Soul because let's be honest here. Like you said, it's not going to happen. Like we've been down this rodeo for like 5 years and it's always the crazy trade talks and then nothing ever happens. And then my actual number 1 is the UW Milwaukee tight end because that seems like a Packer thing to do.
Let's go UWM. Man, quick story. We're not going to go off track for long. I was getting recruited by UWM football. UWM doesn't have a football team. You're wrong, they do. It's a club team. They're not recognized by the NCAA. They're not recognized by the NAIA. But they are a pay-to-play team that was recruiting me. And Dustin and I went to a game, their homecoming game, that their coach said was going to be a blowout. Long story short, they went into overtime, and their overtime rules are not like the NFL's overtime rules. It is what's the word? Sudden death. First team to score wins. We watched both teams miss 6 consecutive kicks each. 5 overtime periods. 5 overtime periods. I missed dinner Okay, and it was a noon game. My goodness. But yeah, bring him in. Bring him in. I'd love to see that, man. I'd love to. Let's go UWM.
For the longest time, I forgot about that story because it was like the game was that forgettable. It was such a bad game. And Alec brought it up again. I'm like, oh my God, we did go to that football game, and it was horrendous. It was an hour drive. And, like, I'm all for it. I'm going to go, with my buddy down to a college football game, and we're going to watch, just have a good time. We're just going to watch some football. My God, that was the worst case of football I've ever seen. It was so bad. Like, I don't know how anybody is like, I'm going to pay to do this. Like, I want to pay to be here. Like, I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't.
No, sir. No, sir. But anyway, I was a recruited player for college football, and I will not let anybody forget it, even if it was pay to play, 6 overtime. Losing that game, UW Milwaukee.
Alec Kraut, potential college football player.
Potential college football player. All right. Let's keep it moving, Dusty.
Well, I mean, do we have anything left here? I'm not sure. We're kind of out of things. The moment you got anything, we can do it.
You know what we haven't done in forever, and I am just beside myself for allowing it to happen for so long. Everybody's favorite. When I say everybody, I mean, I've heard a lot of people talking on the streets, whispers here, whispers there, shouting from the rooftops over there. Favorite segment of this show. Favorite random Packer of the week.
Oh, let's go.
It's time to get wacky. It's time for Random Packer of the Week.
What a beautiful little ditty that AJ Brault wrote for us, man. I love that. I love that one. It's time to get wacky. All righty.
It reminds me of like a little game show, It just like gives you little tingles when it comes on.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So this week, my random Packer of the week, I'm going to go with Scotty Wells. Y'all remember Scotty Wells? He was great at snapping the ball, man. Yeah, he was great at snapping the ball. I think he did a short stint at long snapper as well, but longtime center, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. He's so random, I can't really remember the position he played, but I knew that it had something to do with snapping the ball.
Really? Oh, well, that's a good one. I do remember Scotty Wells. I don't remember. Was he part of the Super Bowl team?
All right, Dustin. I don't know. I'm not sure.
How dare you come up with the random Packer of the week and not be educated on him? I'm just kidding. I'm gonna give you a name, and I have no idea what time he played, but I know he played for the Packers. And my player is Brady Popinga.
Woo! Let's go.
Woo! The only reason I remember him because I was on the Packers app the other day. I don't remember what I was looking at, but I saw Brady Popinga interview. I'm like, that'll be the guy I use for the next random Pack of the week. Brady Popinga, dude. Everybody.
Brady P. I miss Brady P. I love Brady P.
I love Brady P.
All right, Dusty. Well, I think that pretty much wraps up everything that we've got to talk about. We're sorry for such a long wait. We hope that this was as joyous of a watch for you as it was a speaking from us. It poured right directly out of our souls, and we can't mention enough how grateful we are for you guys watching every week, subscribing on YouTube, following our social media, at AJ Brault. We miss you, buddy. Hope you're back for next week. At Dustin Bergine. It's been a great time co-hosting with you. And at The Village is Burning, AR is holding the torch. You did great today too, buddy. So we appreciate everybody watching. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Oops, sorry, I wasn't ready. I'm sorry. That was my fault. All right.
That's why we
Goodbye.
need AJ Brault.